The moment you all have been waiting for is going down March 16th in Dallas, Texas, live on Fox Sports pay-per-view. Errol, the Truth Spence, will be taking on 4-division world champion Mikey Garcia, who is attempting to become a 5-weight division champion. He's moving up from 135 to 147, giving up a significant reach advantage, height advantage, and physical advantage. This is the breakdown prediction of that fight. Let's get into it. Man, when this fight was first announced, I was like, it's a head scratcher. I didn't know if this fight would, be competitive. I know Mikey's a great fighter. In my opinion, he's a great fighter. A lot of people don't feel that way, or some people don't feel that way. But I feel that he's a great fighter. He wanted this fight for a reason. He been watching film, studying the style and the tendencies and the flaws of one Errol Spence Jr. and got confident. It's like, you know what? I can beat that dude. I can beat him. I know I can. I know I'm small, but I can beat him. This gives me the motivation that I need to continue on, and I want this fight. He kept calling and kept calling and kept calling for it until finally Al Heyman gave him his wish, and that was Errol Spence Jr. March 16th. Now, let's look at Mikey Garcia. We're gonna look at the challenger first. We're gonna look at him, and we're gonna get his measurements, so we can be very accurate with what I'm saying in this video. I'm pulling up his information right now because I want to be on point with what I'm saying, so I don't put out no false information out there. You know what I'm saying? Okay, record 39-0, 30 knockouts. Most recent victory came over Robert Easter Jr., the tall, lanky, talented, but disappointing former IBF lightweight champion. His height is 5'6". His reach is 68 inches. He has a 77% KO ratio. He's boxed 214 rounds in 39 bouts. He's 31 years old, so he's still in his prime. Now, since we got those measurements, rounds boxed, height, reach, KO percentage, let's talk about his skill set. Mikey is a very patient, very smart fighter. One of the highest ring IQs of the fighters boxing today. He's very calculated. He's very good at countering you. He's very good at fighting at a distance. He's not a muscled, ripped type guy, so it'll be interesting to see how he comes in at the weigh-in and how he looks physically. But mentally, he has the advantage, in my opinion, going into this fight. Errol Spence hasn't fought a guy with the ring IQ of Mikey, and that is just a fact. And when you dive deeper in this fight and just take out the physical size advantage for Errol Spence and look at it from a technical standpoint, this fight can be very well, very competitive. Simply as that. Because like I said, Mikey tends to be able to make his opponents fight the type of fight he want to fight at the pace he wants to fight it. He makes them cautious. And obviously, he's making guys that are naturally his size, cautious because he can punch. He can punch at 140. Although his power wasn't what it was at 135 and 130, 126, and 122, at 140, it's still respectable. He dropped Sergey Lipinets in their fight when he won that IBF junior welterweight title from him last year. But adding 7 more pounds on that frame, I'm unsure about how that punching power will translate at 147. But that's, again, where his ring IQ come in, his experience. He's going to be looking to exploit some flaws that, Errol Spence has. Simple as that. Errol Spence, let's get to him. Let's get to him. I'm jumping back and forth, so stay with me. Let's get his measurements, his reach and everything. Errol Spence, 29 years old. He's 5'9.5", so he has a 3.5-inch height advantage going into this bout. He has a 72-inch reach, which is for him a 4-inch reach advantage over Mikey Garcia, who has a 68-inch reach. He's 24-1 with 21 knockouts, 88% knockout ratio. He's boxed 96 rounds in his career, 24 bouts. He's a southpaw, something that Mikey Garcia is going to have to contend with. Let's talk about Errol. Errol is a very good fighter. He is a very good fighter, but he can sometimes be one-dimensional. We know he's a monstrous body puncher. He will take your soul with those body shots. So Mikey's going to have to be aware of that. But one thing that Spence tends to do is he squares himself up. He overextends on offense, which leaves him out of position to defend himself, which if you do that against Mikey, he's going to counter you. He's going to make you pay. He can pot shot you and get your attention that way. Errol Spence also likes to admire his work. He did it against Lamont Peterson. He's done it against, other opponents throughout his career. So those are things that won't bode well for him, in this fight, bigger man or not, because there's no guarantee that he's going to knock out Mikey Garcia. We know what history says, a good big man beats a great little man. We know that. We've seen it before numerous times. But we also seen a great little man upset, a good big man. Or a great big man, and it depends on, who was in the who was fighting. Manny Pacquiao, Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La is an all-time great fighter. Got pieced up by Manny Pacquiao. Henry Armstrong did it to numerous of guys. Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Robinson did it to numerous of guys. So it's definitely something that can be done. It's all about how Mikey reacts to the power, the accuracy, the precision, the pressure, the physical strength of Errol Spence. Because Errol Spence is a guy that gets better and gets stronger as the fight wears on. Because he breaks you down early to the body, early and often. He is a ferocious body puncher. I have to say that again. He, looks forward to breaking ribs, making you piss blood. And once he get dialed in, it's hard to stop him. But Errol Spence also has very good hand speed. He showed a little bit in that Lamont Peterson fight that he is more than capable of boxing from the outside. He was shooting that jab, letting those combinations fire, and showing a little finesse on his game. It wasn't just walk you down head and chest, pin you on the ropes, and break you down that way. He showed that if need be, he can, box from the outside and make it look pretty. You know what I'm saying? He ain't got to always dirty it up. So for Mikey to be successful, he's going to have to be able to make Errol Spence fight his type of fight. Meaning he's going to have to make him fight at a slow, calculated, risk pace type fight. He's going to have to make Errol Spence think more than Errol Spence is accustomed to. He's going to have to make Errol Spence get out of position. He's going to have to frustrate Errol Spence. He needs to make it uncomfortable for Errol Spence mentally. And then while he's mentally breaking him down, he needs to physically do the same thing. Punish him. He needs to, go to the body. He needs to, constantly use that jab. Keep Errol Spence on the end of that jab. He needs to counter and make Errol Spence pay every time he makes a mistake defensively or offensively. He cannot allow Errol Spence to get off clean, and he's going to have to get their respect. So he's going to have to sit down on his punches and make Errol feel his shots in his fist for him to just say, you know what, I can't come in here reckless like that. I just can't do that. For Errol Spence to be successful, he needs to treat this fight like he's fighting Terrence Crawford, like he's fighting Sean Porter, like he's fighting Keith Thurman. He needs to be smart. He needs to, you know, be alert, be aware, pay attention, and keep himself in position to be successful offensively. Because the last thing you want to see him do, if you're an Errol Spence fan, is go in there, balls to the wall, thinking that, you know, just because Mikey is a smaller man, that, you know, he's going to, you know, just get him out there with the first 2 or 3, 4 shots that he land. You know, that's just not likely to happen. Mikey is a great fighter for a reason. So Errol Spence is going to have to use everything. He's going to have to, you know, not saying that he's going to have to treat him like he's a big welterweight, but he needs to, you know, confuse Mikey himself. Mikey is smart, so Errol need to give him a different look. Get his mind thinking about one thing, then boom, I'm right back on what it is that I do well, and that's breaking motherfuckers' ribs. You know what I'm saying? Making them piss blood, stopping them to the body. And he's just going to have to be responsible. He's going to have to figure out a way to go to the body of the shorter man, the smaller man, without leaving himself open for incoming punches, you know? Because if he just goes in there reckless, he could walk into something and get caught. We've seen it before. We've seen Ashita stop James Kirkland, and Ashita had like 9 knockouts in like 30-something fights. But it happens. If you walk into something you don't see, you can end up on your ass. You know, simple as that. But I expect this fight to be competitive. While I have gotten excited for this fight, I close my eyes and I try to envision a way that Mikey Garcia lasts, you know, all 12 rounds. And I just don't see it. You know, I don't see it. I don't see it personally. I think it will be a competitive fight while it lasts. But I feel that just Errol Spence is too hungry. He's too motivated. He's too dedicated. He's too focused. And he's just too big and strong. And he has a good skill set that, you know, falls by the wayside because of his, you know, body punching, you know, him being a body punching aficionado. But I think that he's going to give Mikey different looks that kind of throws him for a loop. And I think Mikey going to give him, you know, different kind of loops that throws him for the loop. And I think it's going to be a competitive fight the first 6, 7 rounds. But I think that around 8 or 9, Errol Spence is going to start, you know, he's going to have already been landing some nice body shots, some shit that make, you know, Mikey think. And then, boom, it's over. Well, to the body or to the head, it's one of them, you know. And he gives Mikey Garcia his first career L. I will say this, though. I wouldn't be surprised if Mikey went all 12 rounds and won a decision. Just because he's a great fighter. And him wanting this fight says something to me. It says something to me. You know, he's saying that he believes in himself truly and that he's doing something a lot of men wouldn't dare do. And that is come up and wait to face Errol Spence. There's guys in his division that act like they don't want to fight him. And you got a guy coming up from 135 who started his career off at 122, coming to fight a big, giant dude compared to Mikey Garcia. You got to respect that. But I'm going with Errol Spence, 8th round knockout. I think he's going to be too much, too big, and too strong for Mikey Garcia. But I will say this again, I won't be surprised that Mikey Garcia sees all 12 rounds and wins a decision. You know, but we'll see, man. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like button. Drop your comments in the comment section down below. Give me your thoughts on my assessment, breakdown, prediction video of Errol Spence, Mikey Garcia taking place March 16th this Saturday night on Fox Sports Pay-Per-View, live from Dallas, Texas. Let me know down there in the comment section, though. If you enjoy the content throughout the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, turn those notifications on so you be notified every time I upload content. Shout out to the movement and everybody that is moving with us. Be sure to check out 3kingsboxing.com for your latest and greatest updated, unfiltered, and unbiased boxing news and information reported the way it should be. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.